I first started drinking when I was 12 years old. I met a group of friends at a park and we started hanging out. As I got out of middle school into high school, my drinking became a little more regular. There was always a party to go to. If there wasn't one, we'd make one. My family didn't find out that I had been drinking until I was probably 14, 15 years old. My parents tried confronting me, and I'd pretend to listen, but then every moment I could, or thought that I could get away with it, I'd be sneaking right back out. When I left high school and went to college, I met a group of friends, some fraternity guys. We started partying just about every day, and I'd be over there drinking and ditching class, and that's kind of how my college career went. I always considered myself a safe driver. I never got behind the wheel while drinking. I always wore my seatbelt. I always drove the speed limit. But that night was different. It was November 12th of 2011, and a friend of mine, Jennifer, had asked me to be her designated driver. And of course I said yes. And we went out and we hit a couple parties, and we were sitting at this second party. There was lots of liquor, music was going, and everybody was having fun, but I was kind of bored. And at that point, I think I told myself, one beer won't hurt. But one beer turned to two, and two turned to three, turned to shots. By the end of the night, I had a .14 BAC. The last thing I remember was sitting at a kitchen table and then waking up in a hospital room. I was in a coma for 7 days. When I woke up, nobody would tell me what was going on, what happened. They just wanted me to focus on getting better, on healing up. I had been scrolling on Facebook. A nurse had brought me a laptop in. But it was all the same things. Get well soon, Stephen. We love you, we miss you. But then I ran into this one post that made me remember why I was out that night. And it read, R.I.P. Jennifer. My friend came to visit me at the hospital, and I had to ask him, is Jennifer dead? And all I could do was nod. And he let me know that she was in the car with me, that we had been going too fast down 65 highway. When I got the accident reconstruction report back, it said we rolled 4.5 times. I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. I didn't make sure my passenger had on her seatbelt. We were both ejected from the vehicle. I went 150 feet, Jennifer nearly a football field. We had suffered similar injuries, spinal and lacerations, but the biggest one was the severe head trauma, in which we were both bleeding from the brain. I was life-flighted to University Hospital in Columbia, Missouri, and Jennifer to research in Kansas City. But at 9 a.m., November 13th, 2011, Jennifer died from severe brain trauma. I saw Jennifer's mother a few weeks after I was released from the hospital. She came over to check in, see how I was doing, and she wanted answers. She wanted to know what was going on that night, why we were out, why I was behind the wheel after I'd been drinking, why we hadn't called somebody. And I didn't know what to say. All I could say is, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. In December of 2013, I was convicted of involuntary manslaughter in the first degree. I was sentenced to 120 days in the Department of Corrections. And thereafter, I was sentenced to a 5-year probation term with a 5-year backup, meaning if at any point in time I got in trouble in those 5 years of probation, I would go back to the Missouri Department of Corrections for 5 years. I saw how much pain that I had put my family and my friends through after I was released from prison. And we go home, and the Christmas tree was still up. My dad wouldn't let anybody take it down until I was home. He couldn't have Christmas without me. And it was then that I realized how bad I really, really hurt my family. And it was then I realized how bad I messed up, because if my family is hurting this much with me being gone 4 months, I can't imagine how bad Jennifer's family must be feeling right now. Because it's not going to be 4 months. It's not going to be another couple weeks, another couple days. They don't ever get to see her again. Mr. Smile, it was contagious. She could make anybody laugh, anybody have a good day. She could start a conversation with anybody. She was a great friend. She was a hard worker. Nobody ever thinks it could happen to them. I definitely didn't think it could happen to me. I thought I was smarter than that, better than that, but I found out it can happen to anybody if you just let your guard down for a minute. One mistake can change your life or somebody else's life forever.